An extremely impressive international recruit has decided to commit to the Mountaineers as West Virginia men's basketball continues to shape up the roster for the 2023-2024 season. Let's go. What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Jordan Cruz back here with the Country Roads webcast. And before I get into this video, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder. If you would do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button, give us a like on this video. It'll help not only its performance, but future videos performances here on the channel. And if you're a West Virginia fan, be sure hit that subscribe button. Helps us and it helps you, as it helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, let's get into it. All right, as I mentioned in the cold open, West Virginia men's basketball has received the commitment from an international recruit that will help them for the upcoming season, and that is Offrey Neve, as you see here detailed in this article from Ethan Bach over on WVSportsNow.com. And Neve is a 6'7" forward that West Virginia will add to the roster here in the near future, and I think that this is an excellent pickup, very high ceiling. This young man's only 18 years old, so still has a ton of time to develop. But with his 6'7" length, I think he's going to really develop his body and have a great frame and end up maybe even as a professional player. We'll see what happens. But I think you're going to see more of these international players that we previously always saw just wait and then enter the NBA draft. You know, you may have seen a guy like Neve just continue to play overseas and then enter the NBA draft in 2025 when he becomes draft eligible. But now with the NIL involved, these players can come play some college basketball and get paid to do so and make a hefty sum in a lot of cases probably. So I think it's a very interesting development that you'll see more of probably with these new NIL rules in place, that players from these international ranks may be on more college teams than we've seen in the past because they can go ahead and play for a couple of years in college, make them some money ahead of trying to enter the NBA. And so it's almost a way for them to double their profits in some cases even. We'll see how that pans out. And I think Neve's one of those players that does have an NBA type ceiling. You know, I think that he's very talented. Like I said, great size, 6'7" and only 18 years old. He may even get taller. We'll see. But either way, great wingspan, great length. And he can play the forward position, can play the three position, but has kind of guard skills and is a super athletic player. And I think one of the things that excites me most, as you'll see detailed in this tweet/X, I don't know what to call it anymore, from Euro Hopes, the account that originally broke the news of Neve's commitment to West Virginia. I've highlighted it there. This is what impresses me most. 55% from the field, 46% from three-point range, and 73% from the free throw line. Those are absurd numbers, especially the 55% from the field and the 46% from three-point range. So not only is he super athletic, quick guard skills for a guy that could play a stretch four role for West Virginia, he also appears to be a very capable shooter with impressive field goal percentage numbers there that you can see. And just to show you guys a little bit more about his game here, in this article on WVSportsNow.com, there's a little highlight video I'll show about 30 seconds of. You'll see him have some athletic dunks here, as you see here, to lead it off. He has a chase down block at one point, a putback dunk even. So, I mean, he's super athletic. You see him very fast moving around the court here. Ton of athleticism. There's the block. Here's a dunk on an alley-oop. And then here in a second to close it out, you're going to see him hit a dunk off of a putback. There's the shooting ability from three-point range. And then here we are to close it out right there with a putback slam. So as you can see, very talented player that West Virginia is getting in Offrey Neve, and still young. He's coming into Morgantown as a freshman, so only 18 years old. I think that I'm very excited about this addition. I think he will contribute and play some this season, but over the next 2 years, I think you'll see him be a very capable player that could develop into a guy that even may have superstar potential in the future. Like I said, he's a guy that has an NBA type level ceiling and could end up as an NBA draft pick here in a couple years when he becomes draft eligible in 2025. But Having said that, let's take a look at the West Virginia basketball roster as they've continued to try and rebuild this thing following the coaching turmoil that's happened here throughout the offseason. Of course, you won't see Neve on this roster yet. I'll add him once he officially signs with West Virginia and is added to the roster. But everyone else that West Virginia has committed is now included on this roster. So let's take a look at our roster tracker for the upcoming men's basketball season here on the Country Roads webcast. All right, so as you can see on the screen, this is the WVU men's basketball roster for the upcoming season. As it stands currently, like I said, you can pencil in the addition of Offrey Neve, who will probably shortly sign with West Virginia, and then we'll add him here as well. And as you can see, that's a great addition because West Virginia needs to add more forwards, more front court players, big men, whatever you want to call them, to this roster. And Neve's a player that can play in that front court despite having great guard skills and being able to play outside as well. You saw the athleticism, the ability to block shots, steal, and rebound. He certainly can play in any area for West Virginia. I'm really excited about his addition. But as you can see, West Virginia, a bit of a guard-heavy roster. However, the good point about that is that guys like Jose Perez, Omar Silverio, maybe even Raekwon Battle, they could play the three at times, as I feel like West Virginia will rely on three guard lineups with a couple forwards in the backcourt a lot for this upcoming season, one of which, of course, will be Jesse Edwards as a starter, and we'll see who ends up getting the other starting spot in the front court. Quinn Slazinski has a great chance to do so, in my opinion. Maybe Neve will even factor into that discussion, and don't discount Sumnick and Josiah Harris now in their second year in the program there. But we're looking to see who will start at that 4 position for West Virginia, really. That's kind of what we're waiting to see, in my opinion. And maybe West Virginia still will add another big man or two to this roster. With the addition of Offrey Neve, it puts them at 12 roster members, so they certainly could do that. And we'll see what happens moving forward. Maybe someone they add in the future will end up in that starting lineup as the starting 4-man. But for now, I really like the way the roster is shaping up. I mentioned it in episode 159 of the CRW podcast. Jay Kuntz did a great job building the roster initially, and now when he's had to do that again, he's really succeeding yet again to the point where I think it's equal to where it was before. I don't think it's surpassed it necessarily, but I really like the athleticism West Virginia's brought in, the length they've brought in, and they've gotten a little bit younger in some areas as well. Lost some transfers that were veterans, but they've kind of replaced them with younger players that have more years to contribute to this program. When you look at a guy like Jeremiah Bembry, and then of course the subject of this video, Offrey Neve. But there's a little bit of look at the West Virginia men's basketball roster for the upcoming season as it stands currently. And like I said, pencil in the subject of this video, Offrey Neve, as well. So there you have it, Mountaineer Nation. Offrey Neve, an international player, joining the West Virginia roster this upcoming season as a freshman, and I'm super excited about this one. As I said, those field goal numbers really stand out to me, as you see them here on the whiteboard behind me as well. 55% from the field and 46% from the three-point line. Can't state those numbers enough. Hopefully he's able to duplicate those somewhat, or at least come close to it in Morgantown. If so, he's going to be a big contributor right away. But what are your thoughts on the addition of Offrey Neve to this men's basketball roster and how it's shaping up currently as they're trying to rebuild it? And let us know of any other players you'd like to see West Virginia target, as they still may add 1 or 2 more players to this roster. Be sure, let us know your thoughts down in the comments. We really appreciate those interactions as we continue to try and grow the Country Roads webcast community throughout Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.